Hey, everybody, welcome to Mets Rewind, the 2015 NLCS clincher, Game 4 at Wrigley Field. My name is Keith Raad from the Mets radio booth, and who better to talk about this game than two heroes that were part of it, David Wright and Daniel Murphy. We're going to take you back to Wrigley Field, but first, boys, are you ready to do some reminiscing about this thing?
Yeah, let's get down.
Yeah, it makes me feel old. Reminiscing just means you played a long time ago, and now you're an old guy.
All right, so let's get this thing rolling. Hunter, fire it away. Let's get the juices flowing here.
And we are at the second oldest ballpark in the big leagues, famed Wrigley Field. Throw by Montero. He got it. That ball is well hit. Forget about it. Man alive.
Even if you're a teammate of a guy that's hot, you start to shake your head.
Ball gets away. Cespedes will score. The New York Mets have pushed the Chicago Cubs to the brink. It's a 3-0 series.
Beautiful. Nothing I love more in broadcasting like in a killer open, by the way, to get us going again. But let's take us back to Wrigley Field, Game 4. From a fan's perspective at this point, for me, this thing was over, right? You're cleaning house. But that's from a fan perspective. Going into this game, David, start with you. Just the feeling, right? It feels over, certainly not over. What do you remember about this?
I mean, we couldn't lose. We had Daniel Murphy on our side. So
I'll save it, but I'll take that.
It didn't matter who they threw at us. As long as we had Murph in the lineup, we had a pretty good dang chance to win. So, I just remember it's kind of like an avalanche. We had such a tough series, in LA against the Dodgers. And to come here and kind of play as well as we did the first couple games, it's like an avalanche kind of gaining steam coming down the hill. And that's kind of how I felt, almost cocky to where we didn't think that they could beat us.
Yeah, it makes me. I remember when we were trying to clinch against the Nationals to end the season, and it looked like that was going to happen. But I wanted to do it before the Nats even came because we played them the last series of the year. So, to David's point, you could still lose even though we were up 3-0. So, I was more like, I want to get this job done so we can get ready for the World Series because I just remember even against, trying to close out the NL East, I didn't even want to get back to New York with that last series with them even close to touching us. So I was like, let's get this thing over with as best we can. And I think Duda, he ends up hitting a home run early, and so does d'Arnaud in this game. And we were kind of off and running.
The best part about this, and you talk about the Avalanche, is at this point, first two at Citi Field, you win Game 3. You never even trailed for a moment in the series. But in the season, Cubs beat you. Beat you a ton. Is it just so different at that point of the year? You're just playing like a different team than you did in the regular season?
I think, at that point in time in the playoffs, our track record was pretty good. We took down Greinke and Kershaw, in LA, at home. Arrieta was also one of the best pitchers in the league at the time. We were able to get to him, I believe, in Game 2 at home. So, for me, having kind of that experience in our team beating some of the best to take the ball, just gave us a ton of confidence, kind of moving forward, especially after we got to Arrieta.
And we were a different club as well with Cess. I think we lost to him all 7 times. If I'm not mistaken, I just being selfish right now, I think I came off the IL to start the Cubs series. And I only say that to probably just, shine on the fact that each one of our ball clubs is, a lot different than it was from the clubs that face each other in the regular season.
So Jason Hamill gets to start for the Cubs. Now, I'm sure as a Cubs fan walking in, you pay for the tickets, right? You're going to the NLCS, but you're probably not expecting less than a miracle. Everybody was talking about, hey, Theo Epstein's running the Cubs. He ran the Red Sox when they came back from 3-0 and beat the Yankees. But as this first inning unfolds, you kind of just feel like, okay, the wind in the Windy City is about to get zapped. So let's dive into this first inning because as I talked about you guys never really trailed, and you scored up until this point in every first inning in the series. And look at it. All the fans are on their feet. Curtis Granderson stepping in. Jason Hamill with the season on the line. Grandy had a terrific at-bat, gets this thing going. And again, you talked about the just right after it, right away. I mean, Murph, jump into that. Like, you're not feeling good 3-0. You want to end this thing. We can talk about that a little bit.
Mm. Well, I'm a little bit maybe somewhat pessimistic when it comes to these things. Like I wanted it to be like you go through it and win the ball game, but I didn't want them to give them any life, I guess you would say. I didn't want to let them breathe at all. And I feel like our whole ball club felt that way. And as you were talking, we were able to score runs early, and then when you turn that over to our pitching staff, like it just felt like David said, it was like an avalanche. We were able to kind of get up on them early. And then I still remember, David, you said something when we were playing about running the bases when you get up on someone. And I feel like it was that sort of temperament and that idea of a ball club that when you get ahead of somebody, you just keep pounding on them. You keep pounding on them. And I remember David mentioning doing that on the base paths, when you get up on a ball club. And I feel like as a whole, our whole team kind of like if we could just get a little bit of that blood in the water, we really started having good at bats. And then again, you can't say enough about the pitching staff.
So David, you talked about Murph at this point. This is a little bit of the highlight reel before his first AB here. How ridiculous was this, right? To see up close. You know how hard hitting is? Like what he was doing, homered in 5 straight games before this game that night.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I can compare it to is kind of the Jordan shrug, where just everything that Jordan was shooting was going in, and he just kind of gives it the shrug. And that's kind of what Murph was able to do at the plate. I'll never forget. And I think it happens maybe later this ball game, but Murph and I are talking, in the dugout, and Fernando Rodney is pitching, and Fernando Rodney, is throwing mid-90s with a Bugs Bunny changeup, great changeup. And, he comes out and he goes, "I'm going to sit on changeup." And I go, "Okay, that's great." I always went up there trying to hunt fastballs, and I might've been on first base or, and Fernando Rodney throws a 95, 96 mile an hour fastball, and Murph hits it out of this world. And I go back to him and I'm like, "Murph, I thought you were sitting on changeup." He goes, "I was." And as a hitter, how hard that is to go look for a changeup and then be on time for a fastball and send it to the moon just showed how well he was seeing it and how locked in he was.
Well, in a stunning at bat, Murph pops out, right? He bleeds blood. He's a human being, right? This first inning. But here's Lucas Duda, okay, first and second. I think Lucas hit it, like laid down a sac bunt the night before. Like he was going through it in a sense. Do you remember that? Like I know as hot as Murph was, like when just guys are just still searching at this point in the playoffs, because obviously what he's about to do is pretty substantial.
Yeah, I don't remember Duda not swinging the bat well. Like I don't remember like thinking, oh, like Lucas isn't swinging the bat real well, and maybe that's because he was probably always hit the ball hard and he got his walks. Maybe he wasn't getting quite as many hits as we are used to. But like you said, Keith, right here, like he just up and this at bat to give us the 3-0 lead was massive. But I don't think back to thinking Lucas wasn't swinging it well at all, and so I think this ends up just being kind of a culmination of I think he was swinging at good balls, but to get the 3-run shot right here and again get that kind of avalanche going for our offense, especially being the visitors this time. We did it at home as the home team, but to be and jump on them as the visitors it put my mind at ease a bit, let you settle into the game. Oh, yeah. Waffled.
And you could also see like a couple of his takes early in the bat that, were good pitches, and he was confident in his takes. And that's kind of the telltale sign for me is how well you're seeing it when, you can take that pitch that's 4 or 5 inches out and take it with confidence, and then hit a pitch like that out to center field is, pretty locked in.
Again, it is 3-0 series going back to Chicago, 2-0. You smoke them the night before, 3-0 lead. The fans that are standing up right now, and that ball sails out. I just love that. Just takes me back to going, again, as a fan, you're like, go to the World Series. It's happening. It's over. Just end it. Get to the 9th inning. But it was just you feel so good for guys like Lucas right here going deep when everybody was having a nice postseason in certain spots. But I just think of the pressure too, like the Cubs had on them. They're still, I know now we're in 2026. They end up winning it the next year, but they're still that cursed team. They were talking about the Billy Goat and all this and that. And then this is one of my favorite swings here. Travis d'Arnaud, Oppo Taco, right center.
He's got sneaky power. He's one of the guys that if you were if you have the chance to get to the ballpark early and watch him take batting practice, I mean, it looks like he's getting warmed up and sending balls 10, 15 rows back. So like Murph said, I was kind of joking around a little bit earlier when I said that, the Avalanche and that we knew we were going to win, but that place had life even in game 4, and to be able to just absolutely quiet the crowd, 5 minutes after the first pitch, I think was big for everybody, including the opposing dugout, our dugout, the fans. It was almost like, okay, they had a little bit of air and we just took that right away from them.
Yeah, to David's point about Trav, I think he went off the apple. Like I think in maybe is it game 1 off of Johnny Lester. Like Trav would get into some balls, and when he hit one, they would stay hit. And I think, too, as number 5, as you were talking, like it really, I mean, easy to say it lets you settle into a game when you look up and you go 3-0, 4-0 up, but it really did just kind of let, I think, our whole ball club, on defense and everything, just settle into the ball game. And now that we have a lead, see if we can extend it. I would say that's one thing we did really well, that series. Like we would get a lead and we would just be able to extend it, like good at bats, good on the bases. And then the pitchers, would go up and throw zeros for us and keep giving us a chance to extend these things.
Yeah. And Murph obviously said the obvious with, Cess and the punch that he brought to our lineup. But, some under the radar additions in Kelly Johnson, Juan Uribe gave us tremendous depth and versatility, and, adding a couple of those pieces at the back end of our bullpen, really provided the depth to allow us to kind of get to where we are at this point.
By the way, kids, that was the pitcher, Steven Matz, hitting at the end of the first inning. Okay,
it's a different game.
I know.
It's a different game.
Just a couple old guys reminiscing about, the good old days.
I remember when we used to try to get it to the pitcher, roll the lineup over.
You remember double switch?
Oh, yeah, double. Yeah, now it's just set it and forget it.
But
Matty get hit. He hit a homer his first start, didn't he?
Good athlete, incredible athlete.
Yeah.
What do you? I mean, and people again now are looking back. Like Matz is still in the league, but this is his rookie year. He made 6 regular season starts, and then this is the biggest one of his career. You never want to look at the pitcher in the eye on start day, but I think after Lucas's home run, you see like Matt's like pacing around the dugout. I mean, what do you remember about that start with a rookie going into this one?
Go ahead.
The thing, I think, to be honest, one of the things I remember is he ends up getting taken out. Maybe, I don't know if it's in the 5th inning, but it's a little bit of like bad luck. I think they get some base hits on him that aren't like waffled, like they don't exactly hammer him. At the same time, I think we might go to, I don't know if it's Bartolo next. I know he gets some innings in this. He gets some real big outs for us. But I just, like you said, Keith, with Matty, he only had about, a month and a half in the big leagues, but the finish that he had, and then you could line up, Harvey, DeGrom, Syndergaard, and Matz heading into the, a 7-game set with Matz as your 4th starter. I remember looking at it as we were going into it, as like, this is an abundance of riches. And that's not even to speak that Wheeler was down in spring training, rehabbing in Port St. Lucie all year. But I remember how well Matzy threw the ball, a little bit, I would say, somewhat unlucky to not go deeper into the game. I don't think he got hit around. I do think that the skipper, TC, was probably not looking to get him out there, but didn't want to stretch him too awful much, with the way the other guys had saved the bullpen lead into game 4.
And that's a left-on-left laser right there, by the way. Look at this. I mean, a good pitch, left-on-left. I mean, Joe Madden's playing matchups in the 2nd inning, and Murph just turned that ball around.
Joe didn't know I'd play winter ball before, so I've seen the double. We've seen the double barrel action before, where you go lefty righty starting in the 2nd.
There's so many things too, like we talk about pitchers hitting and the double switch. Like we'll see later. There's 2 pop outs down the lines where the bullpen is on the field, like some old things that just don't exist anymore. But here's Lucas again, and another thing too, the shift. That's right. The 3 inputs on the right side. I know, this is everything.
Dead ball era baseball. We got a dead ball era going.
That's right. That take right there. There's a couple. I mean, you guys talked about it too. Like some of the takes on borderline pitches with Lucas, homers in the 1st inning, and then fights to get to 3-2. As David walks, here comes Joe making a pitching change. They're already praying to the gods in Chicago. The last thing they need, right, is what's about to happen. I love this. Right on it with Lucas here.
I think he hammers this in right center field, right? Like, oh my goodness.
Well, he needed to hit it there, get me around a score.
Yeah, come on, David, get going.
Both of you guys coming in on this play, which is amazing. 6-0 in the second inning. Do you remember these? Are these blurs?
How's that day? 5 RBIs in the first 2 innings.
Yeah, he did. First 2 at bats, he did go grab 5 RBIs. Some of these, as you come back, like I remember Duda's homer and that double Trav's homer. For some reason, and again, maybe this just speaks to my temperament a little bit, that I'm a nervous Nelly. I think that Chris Bryant hits a homer that gets them a little bit closer later in the game off of Bartolo. Like they never got super close, but close enough that I think I remember like, let's keep extending this lead as best we can. Because, their runs aren't easy to come by in Chicago, but, if you get the wind blowing out a little bit, kind of like it was, I wouldn't say blowing out, but you can hit out of the ballpark there.
Yeah, but actually,
hit it to flow, not me.
So at the top of the broadcast, I forgot about this too, because the game's in Citi Field. It's October, right? It's cold. It was 72 degrees that day at Wrigley.
It was pleasant. It was really nice.
And the wind is blowing out, which is sweet for you, but the other team also gets to hit with the wind blowing out. So do you remember those games at Wrigley where it's a little nerve-wracking? Pitcher's loving is blowing in, but blowing out. And you guys get that lead, but like you said, they could come back. That's always got to be in the back of your mind, I would think.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There's very few ballparks that, one of the first things you look at when you get there on the team bus is which way the wind's blowing. And I think Wrigley might be, San Fran a little bit, but, Wrigley, as soon as I get off the team bus, I'd look at those flags in center field and see which way they were blowing, because you knew that it was either going to be a really good, for the most part, really good offensive day or a really bad offensive day if those things are blowing in.
Yeah. You had to kind of pick what kind of ball flight you wanted that day. You shoot it low or try to just get it up in the jet stream.
Is that a thing? Like, I know you guys are really good, but like, can you actually do that, Murph? Or is that just when you're just on cloud 9, like you were in this playoffs?
I wouldn't say like specifically I can't, but like there being like the pictures I would paint in my head would be like lower. You know what I mean? Like I'm just going to try to work a little lower. But if the wind was blowing out, you just scoop and score as best you can. Just get it up and going.
See, that's the difference. Murph was, trying to call the shot where he's going to hit it, and the majority of us are just trying to find the ball somewhere near the barrel. So
easy.
That just goes to show you how good Murph was seeing.
I appreciate that. Now, again, when I go low, I would only be able to hit a single. David would still be able to cut the wind and hit a double. Like my man's about to end up in the Hall of Fame here in the next couple of years. So, but I would do that. Like now, maybe I'd probably better serve just going on and getting it off. You know what I mean? And seeing if you could just cut the wind and get your double. But I would kind of give something up and try to hit the ball, honestly, like low.
That's a rocket.
Tom Goodwin is just like.
Everybody remembered the homers, but like these at bats right here, like left on left, shooting it the other way is that gets me excited right there.
Who's that? Clayton Richard. So quick aside, I saw Clayton Richard at Pigeon Forge for a Little League tournament my son was at. He was there with his kid this past summer. So it was fun to talk ball with him. And he was uncomfortable for me. I didn't see the ball well off of him. Like Travis Wood, the at bat before, I kind of saw the ball a little bit off of him, but I would have to call hit and runs on myself more off of Clayton Richard than I would, other left-handers.
Yeah, it looked really difficult for you, Murph, there. That base hit the other way. Really, really challenging. This is
Terry also wants no part of that interview. He's wound tight right then.
he's wanting to finish it more than I am.
So this is the bottom of the fourth here. 6-0 lead. Again, this is the clincher. You guys have all the momentum, but this is the inning where Cubs start to put things together just a little bit. Brian takes the walk, first and second. In these moments where like they're going to make the run, what are you thinking about? Like, okay, little Travis goes out to talk to Steven. What are you thinking about in these plays here?
For me, it's just limit the damage. You knew it was going to come. You knew it was going to come. Like, let's stay away from the big inning. If they get one or two, push it across, and then let's try to answer right back. And I think that's, to Murph's point, something that we were really good at was, if we gave up one or two offensively, we could go get it right back and kind of get that momentum back on our side the next inning.
That play,
I think that play
just rips one right there. Yeah, do you remember that, David?
Go ahead. Number 5.
I had some hops back in the day. it's just, that's one of the things playing third base that, Murph can attest to is like, you just, it's a reactionary position. So it's like one step in a dive or, one step in a jump. I mean, it's just, you got to be ready for those types of, hard hit balls down there. It's not so much the range that you can cover. It's, how quickly can I lay out or how quickly can I get up to, take away a base hit from somebody.
And I think to David's point a little bit like that, by no stretch is an easy play at all, but it's a play that you're hoping to secure the out on. And as many of those that we can make sure we secure the outs, it's deflating when you get a lead like that. You know what I mean? So I was probably, you're asking what we were thinking. What I was thinking was, if I get a ball that's supposed to be an out, making it out. You know what I mean? Don't give them any extra ones and don't give them a chance to breathe. This is the play I feel like I remember. No, Flo goes in. This wasn't it. No, that was a wonderful play. I remember that was a good play down there.
I mean, let's not forget they had the bases loaded with nobody out.
Yeah.
They get one run out of it. And typically, like the Schwarber ground out, trading out for a run, usually offensively, you're like, okay, that's a fair trade. In this situation, that they didn't want that. You know what I mean? We want that.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was a play in there where ground ball to Lucas, steps on the bag, doesn't think about trying to turn two, trying to be a hero, like you guys are saying. Just get the outs.
Right.
So what is the inning? Again, as a fan, I'm thinking this thing's over. It's still early, but like 5th inning, 6th inning. What's the number where you go, okay, it's getting late. It's getting late enough where we feel good. If you can feel good.
When I was hugging David's neck.
I'm the same way. Like once Familia comes in the game and gets that final out, that's when it's like, okay, now I can take a deep breath. Because maybe it's the pessimistic side of me is that all I can think about in the back of my head is that, don't start getting caught up in the moment. Let's finish the job, and then we'll get caught up in the moment in the celebration.
You know what? As we saw too, I think them getting the bases loaded now, as we're talking about it with nobody out, was just a good reminder to us, because you're really one swing away from us being like in scuffle. You know what I mean? And so to have that early and be able to take the outs that they gave us and only give up the one run, probably at least for me, help kind of get me and stay in the game. I can remember even on balls like this, I'd be getting so pissed when they got hits. Right. I was like, oh, I don't want no base runners out here at all.
That might have been a easier play for us, down the right field line if our bullpen catcher, Dave Raccanello, had got out of the way, or at least helped us out a little bit.
Help him out a little bit.
No,
here comes Tolo.
His big sexy.
Here he comes.
All right,
and then, like you said, he wasn't getting hit around. Like Matt's wasn't getting hit around. You had like a blooper. You had kind of a jam shot up there. I mean, he was making good pitches. Just a little bit unlucky.
Again, another big spot, right? Chris Bryant just walked to get the last inning going. Bartolo at this point in his career, I mean, he just moved the ball so well. He had such, he always could manipulate the ball, but like to put just a nibble at the knees there.
And also, like you're not getting, you see that little box on the right, you're not getting anything in the middle of that box.
Absolutely.
It's
like he ends up getting a punch on this, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't he? I have to check the box scores. He strike out Brian on this?
Well, let's see here.
Like
3-2, first and second, 2 outs.
Yeah, I thought he did.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
I mean, and look at the pitches that like in the box.
Like Bartolo's just a type of guy, I feel like in that situation, he's like, third base is still open. I'll make you swing at my pitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I know the feeling.
It's so funny, not funny, but it is. You see Schwarber in this series, he was like just beginning his career as obviously one of the best power hitters in the game now, but left field, it was a struggle for him defensively in left field. He had a tough play in the first inning. He made a tough play in game 3. Do you feel like, I mean, part of the game plan right now is defenses and what they do well and not. Do you remember the Cubs being a bad defensive team at this point, or is just what do you remember about just their profile?
No, I mean, up the middle, they were solid defensively.
Yeah.
Chris Bryant picked it over. Anthony Rizzo, Gold Glove. I mean, they were good defensively. David Ross behind the plate, like savvy veteran and soon to be manager. So yeah, it's. I don't think that they were bad, defensively at all. And I think that's what to Murph and I's point. I think that's what kind of makes this so special to us is that, you had to play the field. There was no DH. So, to keep a guy's bat in the lineup, you had to go try to find a place space for him in the field. And I think that was part of the game plan, and not that we were trying to hit it to a specific person, but you had, and not just the Cubs, but you had other teams that had holes because they wanted to try to get guys bats in the lineup.
Yeah, and I think they had Javi Baez, so he was playing second, if I'm not mistaken. I would say the way, at least I felt maybe in the dugout, because with Schwarber, it's like he had some years out there. Obviously, he got better in left field, but there in the early days, and that was the way I was when I first got out there. You can kind of feel a little uneasiness as you go and get the ball. So as like a hitter and then a runner after that, anytime we hit the ball there, it's like, let's get going, because he may give us an extra 90 feet. You know what I mean? If we really, put more pressure on him in addition to the batted balls we were getting out there.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Murph, you dump one again over Dexter Fowler's head in center field. McFadden's was
that was a fun at bat.
Keith,
Because Pedro Strop, he's trying to quick pitch me this whole time.
That's not a dump. What do you mean? He hit it over his head. Dumping it is in front of getting jammed in front of me. This thing hurt the ivy on the wall.
Thank you, Captain. I appreciate it.
Hey, listen, the New York media is tough. That's just the way it goes.
That was a fun at bat though, because Strop kept quick pitching me, and I kept calling time. Like I didn't like the cadence of the dance he was trying to get down with me, so I kept stepping out, and then he'd step out, and then we finally sorted it, and then I kind of Cadillac'd it in a second. Took so long for us to finally get down with each other. So I'm gonna enjoy this.
You mean there was no pitch clock when you guys were playing?
No.
How long ago?
I got one for you. I've been using this though. We used to have a pitch clock in baseball. It was the sun, and then we started playing games under the light. So we've had a clock before.
David, you talked about the depth of the bullpen. Here we are, 7th inning. Every year somebody emerges, right? Addison Reed. This is his year. What
an acquisition.
I mean, right. Like, what do you remember about this?
Fantastic teammate, great person, and what he did on the field was, he closed games in Chicago for the White Sox, and to have that kind of experience and that kind of even keel manner, it never seemed like he got too up, too down. He'd take the ball in any situation, and a guy that you talk about a guy that you want out there in a big moment. Addie's my guy.
Yeah. I really loved about Addison was his willingness to go and meet the batters in the zone, with his fastball, his best pitch, and he would get swings and misses and glancing blows. Like they wouldn't center him, and he would just come right through the middle of the zone.
Sorry, Murph.
What was it?
No, then you knew he did a good job when the hat would go on top of his head, like he did. Yeah. Like job well done.
That's it. Go take a breather.
Yeah.
All right. So with this leading us up to this is the Rodney inning that you were talking about.
Oh,
this is the
that's
8th
a ball.
inning. This is that was not a good call.
That's a ball.
David is at the plate. Murph's on deck. Now Murph, homered in 5 straight postseason games, tied with Carlos Beltran for the big league record. Now you love this sport, you love history, you're in the moment, you're kind of doing two things. Did you know that? How present was that? And how much did you want to hit a home run on this at bat? If that's
I'm thinking, you idiot. Why are you walking me to get to him? Throw some fastballs down the middle.
He didn't want the platoon advantage, apparently. He didn't come and get me. No, I would say
think about this. I'll talk for Murph for a second. He's looking for a changeup right here.
Boom.
Well, that's why he snuck that one by me.
Mm-hmm. That's a 96-mile-an-hour fastball when he's going up there looking to hit a changeup. That's amazing.
Well, thank you, Captain. I was okay at straight balls. I wasn't necessarily the best at like curves, but I was pretty good at right-handed straight balls. I don't know. As far as I don't know if I knew exactly. Like I knew I had hit 5 home runs and then the record, but when in the moment, I'm not thinking. I'm thinking about I want a changeup right here. Like I want a changeup up. That's as close to what I'm thinking, and I'm not thinking hit it out of the ballpark. I'm trying to score David from first, which is a double. And then if it happens to run out of real estate, but like, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
And I think as McFadden's again, going crazy, running out of champagne. I think on this replay of the slow-mo swing, you kind of grit your teeth a little bit, like as if you didn't think you had it every time you went up there that series and that postseason. There was no reason for you to do that. We already knew it was going to go somewhere.
So that one I didn't catch as flush as like the one off of Hendricks. So I get
Right
it,
here.
but I don't.
Like,
I wasn't certain, and that's the big carry out there as well too. Like I wish I would have just pulled it down the line, or maybe more in the gap. But like that was because it just gets in the fence. I think just barely, but it counts.
It does count.
Addison Reed's reaction always like, oh my goodness. Well, that's not a shot everybody necessarily wants to see me with the glove, but no DH, right? Number 5.
Yeah, you close. What was it? Was it game 1 or game 2? You game 1. The sliding defensive play, right to the left.
Yeah, if you could get me running side to side or diving, I might be able to help you. But if you just hit me like a 2-hopper, adventures to come.
Here's another good acquisition at the deadline: Tyler Clippard.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he was. That changeup, he would be able to throw that changeup any count to get back into it.
Unfortunately,
that's the homer. Yeah. So while I'm defending right here, like he hits this, and I'm thinking, go away. I don't want no part of this. Like let's get these outs, and we'll get back up and extend the lead if we can.
Right.
Yeah, I keep poking you and asking you this. Like, it's the 8th. Are you counting down? Like, okay, 6. Now we need 5 outs. Now we need 4. Do you play that game? I'm trying to get you to say you play that game, that you think just like we do, that you're already on the flight heading back to New York to think about the World Series. You got to be thinking about how close it is here.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. 50% of what you just said. I think you're definitely counting outs at this point, but you're certainly not thinking about the flight back to New York for the World Series because, you just can't allow yourself. And I think all of us, that's like kind of a sense of relief right there. It's like, okay, 5, you start counting backwards, it's like 5, so I think that you're half right, but I don't think any of us let us think that, hey, look, we gotta, let's start taking our mind away from this and what we're going to do to celebrate afterwards.
I was like, and then the way the innings work for me is like 0 outs is as far away from 3 as you can get. Right. So like you've already given up a couple runs and you got no outs. Like you're as far away from the dugout as you're going to get in that inning. And so like David said, just to get that out, it wasn't so much like, all right, that's 5 and then it's 4, like watching the scoreboard, because if there's a situation, where you might tell the outfielder like, hey, on a base hit or runner on second, like throw it straight into second or hit your cut. Like our biggest thing is like, we want outs and keep the double play in order as best we can. And so like, let's not get overly aggressive, trying to get a lead runner if the better play is to ensure we keep a double play in order.
It's a good bounce back right there. Blowing Schwarber's doors off after Chris Bryant took him deep. All right, we go to the 9th inning. Game 4, 8-3 Mets in the clincher. Mets fans are standing. Cubs fans are maybe headed out. Maybe not yet. But there's Lucas again with
still hitting rockets.
Another dude is trying to kill the second baseman again.
Yeah, drag him into the outfield.
Isn't it better? Like, as Murph, you were a lefty. I don't know how often you saw the shift, if at all. But like when you beat the shift, it's like, thank you. It just feels a little better, I would think.
Yeah, and it's easier like Duda does here to beat him in the air, because it's tough to beat him on the ground. There's just too many people. But like that ball is kind of the way I always wanted to do it, was play against the outfielders as best I can. So even if I don't hit it hard, I can still get it in front of them. Now you hit it as hard as Lucas did, you just put a hole in the wall.
Well, and also Murph decided to just try to play Pepper, just beat him by playing Pepper with the fans in the 10th row in right field. So that'll beat him every time.
You're a good captain, but there are less defenders out there. So
it's not banana ball, right? They don't, you're not out if the fan catches it.
No.
That's right. All right. TC's heart rate is about 250 right now. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Here comes Jay Urias. And I always think relievers have a feel, right? The manager brings in whoever it is, you have a good feeling or a bad feeling. 2015, what was the feeling when Jay Urias got in there?
I mean, for me, it was like, if I was a hitter, I tend to judge teammates and opposing pitchers on how comfortable the at bat is, or if I'd want to face them. And he was one of those guys that was like, this has got to be one of the most uncomfortable at bats right on right that you could possibly have, because he's just erratic enough to, in the back of your mind, think that you might get one in the middle of the back. And then his plus stuff, I mean, he throws a heavy ball. He's got plus off-speed pitches, and he just kind of comes right at you and challenges you with that funky motion. So a guy that I just wouldn't want to face.
Look at Murph with the glove, huh? 2 4-3s.
Oh, play with it. Play with it. Look at that. We're almost there.
And now 2 outs, 1 out to go. I will call this the most excruciating at bat of the entire game. The way Dexter Fowler fights here. But are your hands sweaty? Or you feel the knees get like? What do you feel physically? Because this is it. 1 more out.
For me, everything was kind of moving in slow motion, and I think it's even like a delayed call. Like here where you're just like you're on like the edge of your seat, and you're like, okay, yes or no, yes or no. So for me, it was just everything seemed like it was moving incredibly slow.
I'd say, yeah. And what I'm probably paying attention to the biggest is like, so you got a runner on, Dex is up. So that means that the guy that's behind the hole is the tying run. So I'm always looking for where the tying run is, because even if you can just get the tying run to the plate, it's like a bolt to energy for your ball club. So my thought is stay engaged, because I don't want them getting any closer to the tying run getting to the plate.
Right.
That dugout is a dejected dugout.
Yeah.
Very dejected dugout.
They don't look like they're going to get the tying run to the plate, but I couldn't tell in the field.
You're not looking in there, no.
No, we are
not. I'm watching.
It's kind of weird watching this at bat, and there's like 40 minutes left in this Fowler at bat because that's how hard he fights. But it feels like almost Mookie Wilson-esque if you're just watching that at bat in '86, where he just puts one down the line, right? We all know, roll a little roller behind the bag. Like, that's obviously won the game on that play, but anything here could extend the Cubs season. But some of these images, for the rest of us is worried about, the Cubs come back. It was like, look at how happy these Mets fans are that came to Chicago. It's right there. It is right.
They're celebrating more than we are on the field right now. Like, no doubt.
All right here. This is it, right?
Yeah. Is this
nice and easy? Never.
No, not quite. Yeah, it's the one up and in.
Right.
David, did you say anything right there? Yeah, you did.
I think that's Mark over at third base, and I'm like screaming at him. I'm like, just you have no idea what my heart rate is right now.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. Haven't blinked.
Yeah, Mark Wagner is not making that call.
That's about how I feel. That deep breath right there. Settle this nervous system.
Yeah.
Nope, not yet.
Yeah, you're right. This
was a full one.
Maybe this is why that it seemed like slow motion, because he had a 20 pitch at bat.
And Soler on deck. I mean, 3 for 4. He had a great series. He was nasty.
Jorge Soler's had a big night. He's waiting on deck if Fowler can keep it going.
As I said, it's the most excruciating at bat of the series.
Right.
Good swing and a high fastball there.
As a Mets fan, no lead is ever safe. Nothing is ever safe. You're just praying. I know that everyone's happy. Everyone's smiling.
They seem like they're enjoying themselves. Come play second. What the hell?
Jake probably should play second.
Yeah, fair. He does. He fights the whole way. All right, I'm taking this one. This one's the backwards punch.
20 for the inning for Familia.
I mean, no one wants to make the last out of a series, so I got to give Dexter Fowler a lot of credit.
Ground balls to Daniel Murphy.
Please, just let this. I'm just thinking, let this be the one.
He walked Montero.
There we go.
Yeah. They haven't been to the World Series.
That's a good feeling.
2000, and the Mets are on their way back.
Look at this. Look at how happy. David, you dropped something, but look how happy you guys are. Look at this. I mean, take me into the pile. Take me in there. I've never been in there before. None of us have.
I mean, I think for me, it's just, it's like this is going to sound cliche, but like as a kid, you dream about playing in a World Series, and for that reality to finally hit you, I mean, it is the most exhilarating feeling that you could possibly have in sports, as far as I'm concerned. So, just the emotion at this point it truly is amazing.
Yeah, it's like I was looking for Familia in the pile, kind of, and like we're bouncing up and down, and then from there, like it's such a release, and I just wanted to go and like hug everybody. Like, I got found David, get Harvey, like John Neese and we played together in '07. That was my first year with the Mets full season, like in the Florida State League. And here we are 8 years later. I played with Lucas Duda in Hawaii in 2000, I think 7 as well too, when he signed. It's like, it was such a homegrown group of guys, and just the release of, winning the pennant and heading to the World Series. I was just looking for next to hug, whether they want him or not. I was coming.
I mean, David, now, you didn't realize at the time, but this is the last playoffs that you'd get to. This is the spot. I mean, as you sit there now, what kind of gratefulness do you feel? That in that moment, like that was such a euphoric feeling.
Well, it's cool, and I can't get the smile off my face, because this for me is truly the highlight of me being on a baseball field since I was 4 or 5 years old. Getting a chance to rewatch this and relive this, and talk a little shop with you and Murph. I mean, it brings back so many great memories. And people always ask, like, what's the most fun or the best moment that you ever had in a baseball field? And I get a chance to watch it right now and talk about it, and it's pretty exhilarating and pretty special.
Good fist pump here. This is a good one. That was a good fist pump. I run in kind of crazy, like hands all up. Here we go. Oh, yeah, there we go. We did it. But even like Flo at the end, like I met Wilmer when he was 16 years old, and then got a chance actually to talk to Ken Davidoff today about Curtis Granderson when we signed him in 2014, at just how huge he was to our ball club, laying that foundation in 14. And he's a wonderful Met, and the career he had for us, and it's just a great group. You got Michael Kadire, like it's just such a good group.
A young Michael Conforto. I mean, you could go on and on about like the great guys that we had in the clubhouse. And I think that's also what makes it extra special, is that winning is fantastic. Winning is fun, but winning with your boys and winning with your friends away from the field makes it that much more special. Yeah,
David, you'd obviously you keep playing obviously with the Mets, but Murph, this was it. This has turned out to be your last year. Like that's a weird feeling, weird thing to say, but when you are hugging those guys and you're there on the field and that moment, I mean, how much more special does it make it looking back now, knowing you're not going to suit up with these guys again?
Yeah, I think special because, again, as I was talking about, I knew these, we all knew each other for coming up on a decade. Like when I got to spring training in 2006, my very first one, like Ruben Tejada and Wilmer Flores were there, and I just came up with every one of them. John Neese, we were on the same team, like I said, and that season, there's just so many ebbs and flows to it. We were, David had been working all year to get healthy. I missed some time, and I do think, as we just talked about him, like Kadire was and Granderson were such a steady force for our ball club over the course of the year to kind of keep us on track. You know what I mean? And then once we got David back, it was like a trade deadline acquisition with Cess and Kelly Johnson, Uribe, Reeder, and I thought Sandy Alderson did an awesome job at the deadline too, because there's something about having guys coming at the deadline that are major league players that just give you a real boost that just propelled us into the postseason.
And a cool side note about this is that Sandy kind of wanted the players to have the spotlight. He's, if I remember correctly, during the celebration goes and sits in the stands kind of in the dark when everybody kind of files out, and just kind of which to me is kind of a cool picture of a true leader letting us get all the credit and enjoy it on the field, while he just sits from afar and kind of watches and relishes from afar. So really neat. And I remember looking up and kind of seeing Sandy kind of sitting in the stands by himself. Just very rarely could you catch like a true, real Sandy Alderson smile, and I think we saw it that night.
Well, it's hard not to find a lot of smiles in Chicago, but everybody else, especially in New York, like we were watching this, enjoying it, soaking it up, so happy, so much belief. And just the game gives you all these things all the time that you just hope that these people that you follow and you watch forever just do well. And this is you guys doing well. So thank you for reminiscing on Mets Rewind. I obviously know the word reminiscing means another thing, David, but I won't say what that is. But Murph, David, thank you so much for doing this. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Keith, and thanks, Murph, for getting us, to this point. I mean, we really rode him hard. So,
oh my goodness, David, I love you. You're Mets through and through, orange and blue. It just comes out of your bloodstreams. You're always giving everybody else the glory. That's all right. When you get into Cooperstown, we'll get a chance to give you yours again. You'll get your flowers.
I appreciate you, Murph. You're the best. Thanks, guys. That was fun.
Yeah, enjoyed that.
Thanks, everybody.